Hi, my name is Darren O'Donnell and I'm the Artistic Director of Mammalian Diving Reflex, and we're the company that's behind Monster Makers. Monster Makers has been the most expensive project that we've ever done because it's been filled with failure. One of the problems with doing a show that is interactive is that in order to rehearse it you need an audience, which is challenging to begin with, but when the audience also happens to be children, to access kids is very tough, and then to access kids and test something on them and then bring it back to test them on it again once they've already been tested on it means that they're completely not fresh, particularly in the case of working with a monster. Once they know the monster and they are friends with the monster, then they take all sorts of liberties with the monster. So we've been working on this project since its conception in 2007. We've tested it in Launceston, in Tasmania, Australia, Launceston, the city. Then we tested it in Brisbane with two sets of kids there, two sets of kids in Launceston, and then we've tested it in Kitchener. We've worked with formerly Lorraine Kim's, the Theatre for Young People. Now I think they're just back to Theatre for Young People, and we tested it with them. And so it's been a very, very difficult process, mostly because figuring out how to work with the kids and figuring out how we want to discuss the topic of failure without being really, really didactic and without, kind of prescribing the notion that, it's good to fail or those kinds of things. We didn't want to be prescriptive. We didn't want to teach anything. We just want to. It's very hard. I've never written a kids show. I have no idea what that's all about. And so this was the first attempt at anything like that. It's been a long time since I've even written any theater. So it's been a long process and a very difficult process. The thing about working with kids is that you cannot decide what you're going to do and direct them and have any kind of expectation of what they'll do or have any particular desires. You can sort of set up a few goals and then you can run it. And then there was one time in Brisbane where we have these chunks of foam that at one point in the process represented emotion. So we're testing these things out, and these foam pieces were supposed to adhere to the monster, and we had hard pieces of foam at that point, and so we gave them to this group of kids, and there was all these academics. They were there to watch us, this great theater company that had done this great work with children. So we're sitting there all ready to go, and suddenly we start, and all the kids, instead of doing what we asked them to do, they just started to throw the foam at each other, and really hurt me too, throwing the foam at me. And so the thing that's interesting about working with kids is that you can't direct them, but what we figured out is how to sort of structure the performance so that they participate in a way that we can predict, because we've tested it enough, but it was never something that we could ask them to do. It had to be something that we had to create that they would respond to. So in terms of interactivity, I mean, kids bring it. We've did the test that we did here last year. I remember there was one little kid who just stood up and participated, and they have no qualms about participating. Unlike adults, they will jump right in and try anything, and that part's been really good. But then it's also been really, really challenging because we never know what they're going to throw at us, and they never throw at us what we want them to.